Welcome back. You're still watching Elimu Mashinani from the Tom Mboya Labour College here in Kisumu City. We're having a conversation on Elimu Mashinani, talking about the situation of education in the country, but also zeroing in on the situation in Kisumu County. I want us to take a look at the performance of Kisumu County when it comes to the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, where you will see that the performance in the KCSE 2024, 31% of the class scored C+ and above. That's about 7,812 out of a class of 25,000 plus. D+ and below was 41%. The candidates were 10,319. Grade E was 3.4%, which is 842 in number. Now, if you had to compare these numbers against the performance in other counties that you've seen, or even in the country, you will see that the performance, or especially for the top grades, is slightly better than the national, because 0.3% scored A-plane in Kisumu County, but at the national level it was 0.14%. Now, if you have to compare that against counties that we've been to on Elimu Mashinani, that is the counties of Kilifi and Narok County, you will see that Kisumu is also comparing way better in terms of performance. But PS, if you have to look at some of those numbers, you still see the heavy load of students that are scoring D+ and above. Even if Kisumu is better than the national, I don't know what this says about what you're doing in our institutions.
Well, Sam, if you look at the results of Kisumu, and you look at the national average, Kisumu County ranks slightly higher than the national average. So Kisumu County has always been an education hub. And we have seen so many professionals, so many leaders, so many people come out of Kisumu. And it has been a leader. But of late, it has a little bit slackened because of quite a number of factors, including cultural issues, including poverty, including teacher shortages, and quite a number of factors which have hampered education. But as government, we are doing everything possible to ensure that we give equal opportunity to all.
Right.
And as we said in the last show, we are not going forward. We shall be focusing more on the competence under CB. It will not only be about just passing exam. Some of these students you see getting D+ and Ds, they could be very good in other areas. So the advantage we have now is that we are on transition in terms of our in terms of our educational journey. So, and that transition is going to help deal with some of these disparities which you have had for a long time. We shall be able to give an opportunity to every learner, whether if they are weak in another area, they are strong in another area. So the issue of just being preoccupied with just a grade or a mark in KCSE will be a thing of the past. We want to assess a student right from junior, right from senior, until, and we want to see what skills, what talent do the student have. So that is the direction our education is going. So we are in a very good position in as far as education reform overall is concerned. And you can also see the government has invested heavily on education. Right now, we are doing 700 billion plus in terms of budget. We are now getting 200,000 teachers. We are doing the labs. We are doing additional classrooms and many other things to support competence-based education. So I want to say that as a country, our state of education is strong. Kisumu County remains one of the leaders, one of the leading counties in this country in matters of education. And we are saying, going forward, we are going to give every learner an opportunity. If you look at the statistics more critically, majority of the students in Kisumu County are able to transition from primary to junior to senior. Transition rate here is about 99%, far above most of the counties in this country.
Okay, and we'll interrogate that data later on, but also to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Maurice Odondo, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Kenya Education Management Institute, KEMI. We also have the presence of Professor Charles Ongondo, who is the CEO of the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, Dr. Norman Kiogora is the director at the Kenya Institute of Special Education, KISE. And also we have Dr. Elimu, Director, Test Development, NEC, and also Dr. Ruben Damburi, Director, Teacher Professional Management at the Teacher Service Commission, and of course our hosts, Nyanza Regional Commissioner Florence Murua and Kisumu County Commissioner Benson Lepar Morijo. Thank you for making time for us this evening. But at the same time, I am with Laura Otieno, who is with the audience. Laura, over to you. We hear the concerns of the people of Kisumu.
Well, indeed, Sam, kama ulivyosema hapa kaunti ya Kisumu ni kaunti ambayo ina changamoto mbalimbali, lakini kama ulivyosema katika swala zima la CBE kuna maswali ambayo tuna walimu, tuna wanafunzi, tuna wazazi, ni washikadau mbalimbali ambao kila mmoja ana swali kwa wakatibu wetu ambao wako pale mbele. Kwa hivyo anza na jina na eleza swali lako.
Thank you. My name is George Polo. George Polo is a teacher, Saverian Comprehensive School. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I want to congratulate for having this opportunity in Kisumu today. As a head teacher of a comprehensive school, I want to observe that we have done our part. We have prepared the learners very well to transit to senior school. Earlier in the term, we actually involved in helping them to select the particular schools that they are going to move on into grade 10, that is the senior schools. We are aware that basically we have 3 pathways that these learners are meant to choose as they move to senior school. But I know that we are aware that the STEM pathway, all the schools are meant to have STEM as one of the pathways that they offer. All the schools are meant to have at least 2 pathways, of course, STEM being one of them. But I also know that I don't know whether it's going to be how the government is going to solve this problem, because the parents tend to think that their children must choose certain particular schools, the initial national schools. That, I'm sure, is going to be a challenge. Maybe the Prof can be able to explain to us how will this be sorted out when it comes to that time. Thank you so much.
Naam, shukran sana. Tunajaribu kupata wadau mbalimbali. Hapa pia kuna mzazi ambaye alikuwa kuna mwalimu. Anza na jina, simama kisha uliza swali.
Thank you so much. My name is Millicent Odhiambo, the principal, Nyakach Girls National School. I have one question. We are expecting the CBE very soon, and I thought that at a time like this, we should have been having the textbooks with us so that the teachers could acclimatize with the content. But I'm seeing us closing next week, and we do not have the textbooks as yet. When are we going to know what we are supposed to do? Thank you.
All right, and P.S., that's an important question. We'll get back to the audience shortly. Those 2 issues, what are your responses?
Okay, Sam, just to begin with the first question on the pathways,
Yep.
on the 3 pathways. As we all are aware, the government is planning for transition from junior to senior. And we shall have 3 pathways, that is STEM, social sciences, arts and sports. And we are encouraging all our schools to at least have 2 pathways as mentioned.
Yep.
And in our category of schools, we have categorized schools into 4. Cluster 1, which we are calling C1, which we are formerly national schools. We are calling them now Cluster 1, C1. Extra county schools are Cluster 2, which is now C2. Cluster 3 is the former county schools, and Cluster 4 are the day schools. In the system that we are now refining, and which we have given learners an opportunity to select schools, we are saying we are going to have a system which ensures that at least in Cluster 1 schools, a child from every county of this country is able to access C1 schools. We have a system which is able to allocate digitally based on their results of Kajasea. So we have a system which is now under a pilot. We are trying to test that system to ensure that we have equity, we have fairness, so that a child from Mandera can be able to access a school in Kisumu, or a child in Kisumu should be able to access a school in Nairobi or even Mombasa. That is the kind of system. And coming to the pathways, we're encouraging all our schools, the 9,350, to ensure that at least every school has 2 pathways. And we're encouraging that 60% of the schools will have STEM pathway, because we are already rolling out laboratories, and we are ensuring that all students at least get an opportunity to get quality education. We are also doing something else also to ensure that we have a smooth transition. We are trying also to mainstream the private schools. We have very good private schools, and we are saying learners who are interested in joining private schools in this country should also be given a chance so that they can be able to select some of those schools. Because there's a lot of investment the private sector has put in these schools. So we are trying to open up opportunities. And remember, we have 2.4 million places in grade 10. And we have 1.13 learners who are graduating. So we have doubled the number of spaces. So every learner will get an opportunity to join a school of their choice based on their capacity. On the question of textbooks, we are working very closely with the KICD, and the CEO is here, to ensure that we provide books on time for grade 10. We have done all the processes with the Kenya Literature Bureau and KICD, and we are confident that materials required for grade 10 will be available starting January next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And yesterday there was a conversation on Citizen TV on Monday report, and some of the concerns that were coming is once learners have selected their places and they've been admitted come January next year, is that placement permanent, or can they change if they decide or they think this is not the wanted to take?
Well, we are still having consultations on this particular issue. Yep. We believe that there could be learners who want to change their mind. And we are going to open a window of about 7 days or 1 week so that learners can be able to revise their choices. Just the same way we do with COOPs for the university admission. We usually open, we do it in a very organized way. When results are out, we are going to give learners an opportunity to revise some of their choices. Because right now, learners have chosen some of the schools, and some of the schools have not been chosen. So with our AI, we should be able to really do a permutation and ensure that every learner is placed. But there will be learners who want to change their mind, or there will be people who want to change their mind. We shall be opening a window of about 1 week so that learners can be able to revise their choices after placement is done.
Okay, before they report to school?
Before they report to school in January.
You said you're going to use AI.
We are going to, of course, everything now is about artificial intelligence. We are going to use the digital tools to ensure that we distribute fairly all the students to our schools.
How will you use artificial intelligence in the placement?
Well, I want to say that most of the tools we have now, in the background, in the permutations that are done so that we're able to place efficiently, a lot of AI happens in the background. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, well, PS, that's not clear. We'll come back for clarification. Laura, some more questions?
Yes, kuna maswali mengi zaidi ambayo anza na jina, maswali ya kwa fupi kidogo.
Thank you. My name is Veronica Otieno, the head of institution, Joy Lomino Comprehensive School, just in the neighborhood. I have a question on transition of learners with intellectual impairment to the vocational training, because my school is integrated and these are learners with us. So my question is still on the pathways. Special needs has 2 pathways for such learners with special needs. That is the age-based and the stage-based. So these learners are with us. They are not in the special school but in the regular, though the ones with age-based are doing the adapted curriculum, but these other ones are not. So during the selection of the pathways, there is provision for the VI, the PH, and the HI. There is no space for the intellectually impaired learners. Are there measures for these learners when they move? Because they cannot go to the senior school. And are there measures for them at the vocational training? There were no schools for them to be selected, yet they were not in the special school, they were in the regular. Thank you.
All right.
Shukran sana. Hapa pia tuna mzazi, maanake anza na jina. Short question.
Hello, I'm Sophia Tieno. I'm a parent here in Kisumu. My question is, us as parents, what we love is that we are asking if we can be involved or to be made to understand the transition that is happening between the GSSS, that is junior school, to senior school, because I understand in senior school, we have things like cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3, cluster 4, and also we have also different pathways. So they're in the same institution. So we love if you can break them down for us so that we can understand. And also, we love to know what the government is doing for us parents so that they can make us to understand whatever is happening. Thank you.
All right. Another question, perhaps?
Yeah, I think we can take a question regarding, should be to the PS for higher learning. Let me just take his question. He had something for the PS.
Okay, thank you so much. I just need a clarification. I hope I'm not going to be relevant. I want to ask the PS, are you aware that there is that a certificate course in plumbing in some of our national polytechnics, instead of 1 year, takes 2 years, and you pay 88,000. It is a 1 year course, you pay 88,000, then the course is pushed 2 years. They push it, then it now takes 2 years. Then you are told to pay another 88,000. So a certificate course in plumbing goes for 176,000 Kenya shillings. The question is your office aware? If your office is not aware, what are you doing about it? Because I'm a victim.
Okay.
Is there value for money?
Okay, all right. That's a question. Ideally, would have gone to the TVET department, but I don't know if Dr. Nyangala, you have something to say about that. You want to attempt?
Yeah, sure. So this is very unfortunate, but looking forward, the technical, vocational education and training institutions are undergoing reform. The courses are being modularized so that specific skills are taught, and within 3 months, a student can actually come out with a skill that will help them to get a job or to start their own business. So I'm very sure that you're going to see changes this year.
All right. Well, it's unfortunate because your question was on whether the PS is aware, she heads the higher education department. But Professor Bitok, those two questions about taking care of the intellectually impaired, and the second question is about parents understanding the transition itself. What are you going to do about it?
Well, let me start by special needs education. I want to say that as a ministry and as a State Department, we have a fully fledged special needs education directorate, fully functioning. And we have taken care of most of our special needs. Mm-hmm. But for intellectually challenged, as Madam Say has said, I think I need to do some little of interrogation of this issue so that we have a smooth transition. But most of our special needs education centers are integrated. They're able to transition yep. within the same schools. We don't expect them to change the school. So I think it's an issue which we need to refine more. Yep. But I'm happy to inform that we have 158 units, yep. integrated units of programs within this county. And we have 3,500 learners under special needs education in Kisumu County. And we are making adequate arrangements so that we have also a smooth transition for our special needs education, or rather special needs learners. across the country. On the question of Atieno about understanding,
Yeah.
I want to say that we are very keen on partnership with parents' associations, with the unions, with all the stakeholders, so that everybody understands how this transition is going to take place. And as we speak now, we have been able to involve the teachers, the parents, and we want to say more about it so that everybody is on the same page. Well, I have explained very simply that the C1, C2, C3, C4 schools are the new categories. We are trying to do away with this mentality of national schools, extra county schools. We now have clusters. Cluster 1, Cluster 2, Cluster 3, Cluster 4. And I want to assure you that we are going to ensure that we give opportunity to every learner who does well in their junior school so that they get an opportunity in the senior school. We don't have a problem of the spaces. The issue here is, are you able to get the school that you have chosen? And we're going to ensure that we do proper permutation and combination so that everybody gets an opportunity to get to the school they have chosen. I have said we have 2.4 million vacancies against 1.1 million learners. So we have a lot more capacity. That is why learners will get more opportunities and will likely to get their choices because we have more spaces. We are not struggling so much to get the space, not like before.
Perhaps you want to explain why you have doubled the capacity?
Yes, the reason why we have doubled the capacity, one, is because, remember, we don't have Form 1s. We didn't have Form 1s this year.
Yeah.
So most of the Form 1 classes are empty.
Okay, all right.
Number two, the government also has invested a lot, working very closely with members of parliament through CDF. There's a lot of investment in additional classes.
We'll talk about that, the transition and the capacity in the senior schools. At a time, there are still some complaints from members of the audience and the Kenyans themselves. We're taking a short break here. This is Elimu Mashinani from the Tom Mboya College here in Kisumu. We're back in a moment.
Simu yangu ni ile ya mkopo yenye nalipwa kila siku, na kama sina pesa ya kulipa hii simu, mtoto atafanya homework wapi? Plus hiyo nini bundles, watusaidie hapo kwa wifi. Na walimu wote si wanajua kutumia kompyuta, wengine wametuwekea mzigo. Wapeleke walimu college.
Hizi madarasa ndio walikuwa wanazijenga. Tayari watoto walikuwa washafungua, ndio wanaendelea zile kuzijenga. Sasa hata saa hizi niko sure watoto watakuwa wengi, zile darasa bado zitakuwa kidogo. Wako congested, kitu kama hiyo.
Enda kwa bookshop, hata sio nini, hata sio grade 9 peke yake, grade 7, grade 8, ukienda kutafuta kitabu au pati. Sasa tunashanga tunaenda kupata hiyo ya grade 10 kwa sababu kama hizi grade 13 ndio vitabu ni different. Vitabu zimepile kwa nyumba zile za syllabus za kitambo, tunaletewa mpya hatupati. Unakuja kupata kitabu at the end of second term ndio mtoto aende shule nayo na walianza kufundishwa first term.
So serikali ni jukumu lenu kwanza kabisa. Mujitayarishe vizuri, mutayarishe walimu, mutayarishe na facilities na resources zote kabisa. Ndiyo tuweze kupata the right material and the right resource.
Right, you're still watching Elimu Mashinani from Kisumu, and Professor, you can hear some of the concerns of the people of Kisumu. Talking about resources, talking about books. It's just last week that the Publishers Association came out and said that the government still owes them some 11 billion shillings and they are not ready or able to publish books for grade 10. Have you sorted that matter out?
Well, I want to say that indeed we have been having consultations with the National Treasury. And it is true, KICD and KLB have not paid all their debts. And some of these debts are historical. And we have actually requested National Treasury to release the required resources so that books can be published on time. We are on top of this issue. We have had engagements with the stakeholders, and we are doing everything to ensure that money for the books is available to the publishers.
Are there any timelines? Because we're just about to close schools. The transition must happen the first week of January. Do you have any indications of how soon?
All right. My understanding is that this money will be provided in the next supplementary budget, supplementary number 1.
When does
which
it
is
come
coming? Which is coming in November. That is the promise which we have from the National Treasury, that this money will be apportioned will be allocated in the supplementary budget, because it's a pending bill. It's a bill which the government has to meet.
So if the supplementary budget comes in November, assuming that Parliament, before it takes a break early December, they'll have passed it, is that enough time to publish books, really?
Well, the work is already going on in terms of ensuring that we get the right books, in terms of assessments of which books. The work is already going on the ground in KICD, in terms of preparation. What will only be being done is to pay the pending bill. But otherwise, work is going on. Some of these publishers have already prepared some of these books. But we are saying we have to pay our debts so that we can be able to move smoothly to the future. But already work is being done.
Okay.
About 10 books have already been approved by KICD for publication. And there's a lot of work going on in the background on this particular issue. So I want to assure the country that in terms of preparation, in terms of preparing the books that are required for grade 10, the government has done everything that is required. And it's making arrangements to ensure that the pending bill to the publishers is sorted out before the transition happens.
Okay. Laura, with the questions.
Naam, kama vile ambavyo katibu anazungumzia kuhusu miundombinu, vitabu na vitu vingine, kuna baadhi ya watu wameketi hapa ambao pia ni wahadhiri, na unajua kile ambacho kinaendelea katika vyuo vikuu na vyuo vya anuai. Kwa hivyo anza na jina, swali fupi.
My name is Charles Othena, Mashinani University. We are the ones on strike. Now, as parents, even me, all my children are in the university and they are all at home. My question is, what are your future permanent plans to arrest strikes, not only at the university, still at the universities, permanently? Because lecturers are tired of going on strike every year. And finally, just a minute, it's a question. The figure which was signed yesterday, the technical committee has agreed with the university union that it is 7.9 billion. The 600 you are talking of was settled yesterday. So we are at 7.9 billion. Thank you.
Naam, shukran sana. Na samu ukiangalia hatujasikiza wanafunzi pakubwa. Anza na jina kisha ulize swali lako na shule.
Okay, thank you. My name is Sidela Dema from Joyland Special Secondary School. I have a question, and this goes to PS. The government removed Edo Afia, and most of the SNA are vulnerable. So what is the government plan towards that? Secondly, we as students, we lack means of transport. So you find is in a case that a student is sick and moving from the school to the hospital is really hard. So I would like you to find a way of how you can help this student. Thank you.
Shukran sana. There's also another question from another student, Simama, and then tuambie jina na shule.
Okay, thank you. I'm Uchieng Christopher Nyango from Joyland Special Secondary School. So my question is, many SNE learners lack assistive devices like hearing aids, brain machine, and wheelchairs. So what's the government doing to ensure that these devices are available? Because as SNE learners, we find it too difficult to purchase them because they are too costly. Thank you.
Naam, shukran sana. Nadhani pia kuna mwalimu ambaye yuko katika SNE. Anza na jina, swali fupi.
Assalamu alaikum. Mimi ni mwalimu Dick Obure, naibu wa mwalimu mkuu shule ya upili ya Joyland Secondary School. Swali langu kuu ni kuwa baadhi ya walimu ambao katika shule za kawaida wanapata tatizo la kukuja katika shule za SNE. Utafanyaje bwana katibu?
Mhadhiri, pengine kabla turudi tena.
Thank you. My name is Rosh Alan Were, and I'm proud to say that I'm physically challenged. But I'm also a lecturer in the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, Maseno University. Listening to Dr. Inyangala give us a brief that it is when they are collecting data now. Would I be right to say that all these stories that the government has been giving us, that Mara, it is 600 million, all this has been based on no facts and no data? It is when you are collecting data, and that you've been lying to Kenyans. Thank you.
All right. All right, Laura, let's hear the responses. I think there are a few questions for you.
The first question was about what the government is doing to arrest strikes permanently. And I want to state here categorically that as a government, we have really stretched the olive branch. All the issues we are dealing with are historical. The 2017-2022 CBA, but we are dealing with it head on. The current CBA, the 2022-2025 CBA, we negotiated and it is fully settled. We also promised that unlike in the past, where CBAs are negotiated at the end of the cycle, we will negotiate and sign CBAs at the beginning so that we take care of the welfare of the lecturers. And so we were really surprised when in 2025 we start working on the 2025 CBA and the lecturers go to the streets. While in the past they have waited patiently for 4 years and negotiated CBAs at the end. So we feel that we strike the olive branch, but the unions are really not appreciating. However, with these two strategies, we believe we are going to deal with these strikes permanently. We are really willing to co-create solutions with the unions, and we are ready to work with the unions. Allow me to clarify on the issue of the outstanding arrears from the 2017-2022 CBA. So 8.8 billion was paid, and there is no dispute about the 8.8 billion. The unions claim that what should be paid right now is 7.9 billion. But according to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, having calculated the yearly increments, they established that 7.2 billion had been paid and the outstanding money was 624 million. And how was that established? According to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, once the 8.8 billion had been paid, every year lecturers had an increment. And even the two lecturers who have just spoken, if they would give us their pay slips, we would see that between 2017 to 2018, there were increments. All the way up to 2022, there were increments. And the universities have actually also acknowledged that they did pay money to the lecturers over and above the 8.8 billion. So, to show that actually our argument is valid, already from the negotiations by the technical committee, their workings, they have already stated that now the bill is 7.7. Initially, they had stuck on 7.9. Now they are saying it's 7.7. But we are still auditing the payrolls. And so, in the end, we will really establish what is outstanding. For sure, some universities had paid those increments completely. And the data will come, the truth will come, And once we establish what is outstanding, we are ready to pay. We hope that by tomorrow, the data that will be shared will be ready to be presented in court, and we should get some guidance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, PS. Professor Bitok, we'll come back with you for some of the answers to the questions that have been asked, but we have to take a short break here. When I come back, we'll answer those and also look at what else is informing conversations here in Kisumu. You're watching Elimu Mashinani from Kisumu County. Welcome back. You're still watching Elimu Mashinani live from the Tom Mboya Labour College here in Kisumu City. We're at the tail end of the conversation. There are a few questions that have been asked. There are questions about Eduafi has been taken away. Now we have the Social Health Authority and SHIF. There's a question on transport for students who fall sick while in school. There's a question on special or other assisted devices for special needs education learners. Maybe we can take those.
Okay, thank you very much, Sam. Let me begin by the question on assistive devices and say that the government is doing everything possible to support our special needs learners. And just as a precursor, for the last 3 years, the government has been investing 100 million to buy these devices for special needs learners. In addition to that, there's a new project under KPL that we are now starting this 1st of November. And we are going to be building 10 modern centers for special needs education in every region in this country. We are building 10 new centers at the cost of 2 billion. The government is going to put 2 billion for 10 centers around the country. And this project is funded by the World Bank under KPL. In addition to that, we're also creating a manufacturing center for special devices in Kise. That is also what the government is doing to ensure that all our special needs education students get an opportunity to get education. Now, in terms of health and eduafia, as you are aware, everybody now is transitioning to SHA. And we are working very closely with Kise to ensure that we get special buses to take our special needs education students to hospital. We are doing everything possible to ensure that there's a model which is in Kise of the kind of buses, the kind of minibuses that are supposed to be used by special needs education. So I want to call upon the stakeholders to come together, whether it's parents, donors, so that we can be able to support in some of these areas, because it's an area which requires collective effort to be able to deal with. Also, in terms of preparation for exams for the special needs education, NEC has a system which is open.
Yep.
And it's not age-based, it's stage-based. Teachers, when the learners are ready, then they enroll the students for exams. And the exam is prepared by NEC, and they are examined based on the stage they have reached in terms of learning. And for intellectually challenged, I don't think they are actually categorized as such as they don't go into special schools. They get into these special needs schools like the others. There are no special schools for intellectually challenged students.
That question about eduafia, just for clarity, the complaint here is with SHA and SHIF. As a child, you can only get covered if your parent has paid. So their concern is eduafia was taking care of them, whether their parents paid for NHIF or not. Is there any arrangement for the sake of children of Kenya?
Yes, I want to say that that's an emerging issue, which we'll take up with Kise. We should be able to cover them under SHA. There should be no reason why we should not be able to cover them under SHA. And we can make a special arrangement, because it's special needs education anyway, for us to be able to take care of all our special needs education learners. I want to promise here that we're going to make arrangements with Kise to ensure that we take care of our special needs education under SHA.
Okay. All right. Now, Dr. Nyangala, your final remark, and particularly on the transition, how are universities preparing, knowing too well that these are children that have been taught using a different method?
Yes, universities are preparing for competency-based education. We recognize that the content is basically the same, but there are gaps when we start consolidating content across the different pathways. So through curriculum review, we are integrating new cutting-edge content. But the elephant in the room really is the science and art of teaching, because traditionally universities lecture, they teach people to know. And now we are moving them to teach people to do, so that they can help the students acquire the practical skills they require in the different pathways. So we have many training programs on innovative pedagogies, and with this we are very confident that we will prepare the students for competency-based education and training effectively.
All right, PS Bitok and PS Inyangal, I think one of the issues that we must talk about is about the transition, how schools are preparing, how universities are preparing, and that will be one of the conversations we'll have in the near future. Unfortunately, that's our time on Elimu Mashinani, but I'm not alone. Laura is also here. Laura?
Na shukran sana Sam Gituko. Na kama umeona imekuwa ni watu ambao wamechangamka, wamekuwa na maswali mbalimbali kwa makatibu wawili ambao wako pale, na kuna wale ambao hawajapata nafasi ya kuuliza maswali. Tafadhali fuataneni zile social media platforms ili muweke maswali yenu pale, lakini hatuna cha ziada. Hapa Sam tunasema oriti.
Okay, good night. See you again soon in a county near you. This is Elimu Mashinani. Bye for now.